Before diving into this incredible story, consider subscribing to the channel and hitting the bell. Every story here has something to say, and you won't want to miss a single one. In the narrow corridor of a 5-star hotel, the tiles gleamed under the cold fluorescent lights. The murmurs of guests, mingled with the sound of suitcases on the carpets, created an ordinary symphony that no one ever noticed. Except her. Her name was Monica, a chambermaid with a gentle smile, deft hands, and ebony skin that seemed to absorb light rather than reflect it. Every day, she cleaned the rooms with almost obsessive thoroughness, ensuring nothing was out of place, every cushion perfectly aligned, every glass spotless. She worked hard, invisible to most, but proud of her work and the dignity she found in it. That morning, as she pushed her cart through the silent lobby, her phone vibrated in her pocket. The screen displayed an unknown number, but the voice on the other end, clear and foreign, spoke a few words in Chinese. Monica frowned in surprise, but instinctively replied in the same language, with a fluency that betrayed diligent practice, perhaps even natural talent. At that precise moment, a man in a dark suit, a discreet but imposing millionaire, stood a few meters away. He had noticed the scene, a humble woman, an employee among many others, who communicated with ease in a foreign language, and this contrast intrigued him deeply. His gaze, initially curious, transformed into silent admiration. Without a word, he took a step toward her, then another, until he was standing right beside her. Monica felt his gaze, but didn't move. She had learned to stay focused, even in unexpected situations. "I would like to meet with you privately," he said finally, his deep voice resonating with authority and sincerity. Monica stood there in shock for a moment. She wondered who this man could be, and why he, among hundreds of guests, had noticed her. But deep down, a feeling told her that her life had just changed. That simple call had opened a door she never imagined she'd walk through. And beyond that door, a world of unexpected possibilities and life-changing revelations awaited her. Monica finished pushing her cart down the silent hallway. Her hands were still slightly damp from the cleaning product, and she shook out her gloves before tucking them into her pocket. The hotel seemed asleep at this hour, but the buzzing of her phone and the lingering gaze of the man in the suit had pulled her from her routine. She watched him walk toward her. Tall, slender, and wearing a tailored suit of a deep gray that accentuated the intense color of his eyes, he had the air of someone accustomed to getting what he wanted. But what really made him fascinating was the subtle blend of authority and curiosity in his gaze. "Hello," he said calmly. "My name is Ethan Carter." Monica nodded, surprise evident on her face. She wasn't used to clients, even wealthy ones, addressing her directly. Usually, interactions were limited to quick thank yous or polite smiles. "You answered a call in Chinese," he continued, intrigued. "Few people here can do it so naturally." Monica felt heat rise in her cheeks. She had studied Chinese for years, not to impress anyone, but because the language had always fascinated her. She replied simply, "It's true. I've been speaking Chinese for several years." Ethan nodded with an almost imperceptible smile. "I find that rare and impressive. I'd like to treat you to lunch." "Just you and me?" Monica blinked in amazement. Few doors in her life had opened on their own, and even fewer in this way. She thought about her daily life, the rooms to clean, the exhausting schedules, the demanding clients. Lunch with a millionaire, in this kind of setting, seemed surreal. Yet a part of her, the one that dreamed of extraordinary opportunities and experiences, whispered to him to say yes. She took a deep breath and nodded. The hotel restaurant was luxurious but understated, with crisp white tablecloths and crystal glasses that sparkled under the hanging lamps. Monica sat across from Ethan, her hands trembling slightly, aware that she had never entered a world so far removed from his own. They ordered, but the meal quickly became secondary. Ethan asked questions about his life, his dreams, his struggles, and Monica found herself answering with rare honesty. She spoke of her studies, her job as a maid, her ambitions, and the sacrifices she had made to help her family. As she spoke, Ethan listened attentively, without judgment, with a genuine interest that left her speechless. Monica felt something shift within her, the conviction that perhaps her life was not limited by her current surroundings. As the dessert arrived, Ethan tilted his head slightly and said, "Monica, what you have, it's not just talent or intelligence. It's something rare. A strength that many don't have. I'd like to help you develop it." She felt her heart race. No one had ever offered her such an opportunity, she had never been seen in this way. She realized that this chance encounter, this simple call, could well be the beginning of a completely different life. And in a single breath, Monica realized that her destiny had taken an unexpected turn. She was no longer just a chambermaid in a luxury hotel. She was about to enter a world where her skills, her language, and her personality could finally shine as brightly as they deserved. In the days following the luncheon, Monica couldn't help but think about Ethan Carter. His gaze, his way of listening, and especially his proposal had left a deep impression on her. But reality was catching up with her. She still had rooms to clean, schedules to keep, and bills to pay. Then, one morning, her phone vibrated again. The screen displayed an unknown number. Monica hesitated, then answered. "Monica?" Ethan's deep, calm voice rang out. "I'd like to meet with you again. This time, it will be to discuss an opportunity one think might be a good fit for you." Monica felt a mixture of excitement and apprehension. She knew her life could change again in an instant, but she accepted. The meeting place was a sleek office in a downtown skyscraper, with a panoramic view of the city. Monica stood in the shadows, watching Ethan walk toward her with a reassuring smile. "I've been observing you these past few days," he began. "And I'm convinced you have potential that few people possess. I want to give you a chance to develop it." Monica frowned. "What kind of luck?" she asked, her voice shaky but determined. Ethan handed him an envelope. Inside were several documents and business cards. "I manage several international projects. I want you to join my team, initially as a consultant for my international communications. Your knowledge of Chinese and your organizational skills are rare assets." Monica opened her mouth in shock. She, an international consultant? She had never imagined this. Her life seemed to be shifting from a world of routine and servitude to a universe where her skills could finally shine. But doubt quickly set in. "And, why me?" she asked, wary despite wanting to believe in this unique opportunity. Ethan smiled. "Because you are authentic, competent, and courageous." You answered that call in Chinese without hesitation. This gesture showed me that you are capable of taking initiative, remaining calm under pressure, and surprising others. These are qualities I look for. Monica felt a surge of pride and fear at the same time. She knew that saying yes meant leaving her current life behind, facing the unknown, and taking a huge risk. But deep down, she understood she had nothing left to lose. She took a deep breath and said, with a confidence she didn't know she possessed, "Okay. I want to try." Ethan nodded in satisfaction. "Perfect. I'll guide you through the first steps. But know this, your life will never be the same again." As Monica stepped out of the skyscraper, a strange feeling washed over her. It was a mixture of fear and excitement, awe of the unknown and anticipation of a future she had never thought possible. She understood that this simple call in Chinese, this gesture she had made almost mechanically, had opened the door to a world of infinite possibilities. And for the first time, Monica felt like she was about to become the most powerful version of herself. Monica's first day in her new role arrived faster than she expected. Ethan welcomed her into his office, a bright, modern space filled with books, files, and state-of-the-art computer screens. The air smelled of leather and polished wood, a scent of power and success. "Welcome to your new world, Monica," Ethan said with an encouraging smile. "Today, I'm going to introduce you to the basics of your responsibilities." Monica listened attentively. Her main mission was to manage Ethan's international communications, particularly relations with his Chinese partners. Her role seemed simple on paper, but she quickly realized that the reality would be much more demanding. The first task was a video call with an important Chinese partner. Monica had to translate in real time and manage the communication professionally. Her heart was pounding. She took a deep breath and sat down in front of the screen. "Hello," she said in Chinese, her tone precise and respectful. The man on the screen smiled and seemed immediately appreciative of her expertise. Monica then translated Ethan's responses, juggling languages and cultural subtleties. Every sentence had to be precise, every nuance perfectly conveyed. At the end of the call, Ethan placed his hand on her shoulder. "You were amazing. I knew you had talent, but you just confirmed that you can handle pressure like no one else." Monica felt a mixture of pride and relief. She had been afraid of failure, but she had just passed her first test, and with flying colors. However, the challenges soon began to mount. She quickly discovered that the world of high society wasn't just filled with opportunity, it was also filled with jealousy, silent competition, and harsh criticism. Some colleagues viewed her with suspicion, some believing she was just a maid and that she didn't belong there. During an important meeting, a partner whispered to his neighbor, "Who is this girl? She has no experience." Monica felt her blood run cold. She could have gotten angry, but she remembered Ethan's words, "Your strength is your calm and your authenticity." She took a deep breath and answered confidently when her turn came. "My experience is different, but my skills are real. I can assure you that I am ready for this challenge." A silence passed over the room. Some eyebrows raised, others nodded silently. Monica had just made her first impression, and she understood that she would always have to prove her worth, not by her past, but by her present actions. At the end of the day, Monica left the office, exhausted but exhilarated. She walked through the brightly lit city streets, her mind buzzing with anticipation and reflection. She knew every day would be a struggle, but for the first time in her life, she felt she could win. And as she looked up at the bright lights of downtown, Monica promised herself she would never let anyone underestimate her worth. Her journey had just begun, and she was ready to do anything to succeed. The weeks passed quickly. Monica was adjusting to her new role, but she was also discovering that this luxurious world was filled with subtle traps and silent rivalries. Every smile, every word, every gesture could be interpreted differently. One morning, Ethan summoned her to his office. "Monica," he said, his serious tone betraying the importance of the meeting, "I want you to attend a gala evening tonight. It will be an opportunity to represent our projects and connect with key partners." Monica felt a pang of anxiety. She'd never been to this kind of event. Long dresses, ties, hushed conversations, it was all foreign to her. But she knew refusing wasn't an option. "Very well," she replied decisively. "I'll do my best." That evening, Monica entered the grand, illuminated lobby of a prestigious hotel. Crystal chandeliers reflected the light on impeccably dressed guests, and the scent of luxury hung in the air. Every smile seemed calculated, every glance silently appraising the others. From the very first minutes, Monica felt the looks on her. Some whispered, others stared at her with barely concealed curiosity. She quickly realized that her reputation as a maid-turned-consultant was already circulating, and that some saw her as nothing more than an intruder in this closed world. An elegant woman approached her, a cold smile on her lips. "You're Monica, aren't you?" she said. "I heard you're working with Ethan, but honestly, I doubt you'd be able to keep up here." Monica felt her heart race, but she remained calm. "I'm here to learn and contribute," she replied confidently. "I'm ready for challenges." The woman stared at her for a moment, surprised by her answer, then shrugged and walked away. Monica realized then that in this world, her only weapon would be her confidence and determination. Later that evening, Ethan introduced her to several international investors and partners. Monica juggled conversations, translated subtly, and demonstrated impressive composure in the face of pointed questions. Each successful interaction reinforced her confidence. But just as she was finally relaxing, an unexpected situation arose. An influential partner tried to discredit her by implying that she lacked the experience needed to manage international projects. Monica felt the pressure mounting, but instead of panicking, she responded calmly and precisely, recalling her recent successes and demonstrating her value with concrete facts. At the end of the evening, Ethan joined her, a proud smile on his face. "You were amazing, Monica." She smiled, exhausted but triumphant. She understood that this world of luxury and power would be ruthless, but that she could find her place in it, not by imitating others, but by remaining true to herself. As she left the party, Monica felt different. This wasn't just a matter of luck or talent anymore. It was a test of courage, resilience, and perseverance. And she was ready to take it, no matter what. In the days following the gala evening, Monica felt that something had changed. She was no longer seen solely as the maid-turned-consultant. Some colleagues were beginning to respect her for her skills, her adaptability, and her mastery of languages. But Ethan's world was never simple. One morning, as she was reviewing reports for an international project, Ethan walked into her office with a thick folder under his arm. "Monica, I want you to take charge of this project. It involves a delicate negotiation with a Chinese partner that could decide the future of several of our investments." Monica felt her heart beat faster. The responsibility was enormous, but she was no longer afraid. She accepted with calm and determination, "I'll take care of it, Ethan." As the days passed, Monica juggled meetings, translations, and strategic decisions. Each success boosted her confidence, and each challenge made her stronger. But what surprised her most was discovering details about Ethan's life that few knew. One evening, while sorting through files in her office, she came across a confidential document. It mentioned secret partnerships, large-scale acquisitions, and corruption that even some of Ethan's associates were unaware of. Monica realized she had just entered a world where everything could be manipulated, and where the slightest misstep could cost dearly. Despite the gravity of the news, she didn't panic. She knew her strength lay in her prudence and intelligence. She decided to observe carefully, to understand the rules of this world, and to find her place in it without ever compromising her values. The next day, during a strategy meeting, Ethan introduced her to all his partners as the person in charge of this crucial project. The skeptical looks gradually turned into silent respect. Monica felt an intense sense of pride. She had just reached a decisive milestone. But this success came at a price. Some colleagues were beginning to see Monica as a threat. Whispers and muted criticism circulated behind her back. One thing was clear: the world of luxury and power did not welcome newcomers easily, especially those who arrived with authenticity and competence. Yet Monica was undaunted. She knew that to stay and advance, she would not only have to excel at her job, but also learn to navigate the silent intrigues of this ruthless world. As she left the office that evening, Ethan was waiting for her by the elevator. "Monica, you're becoming exactly what I saw in you from day one. Keep it up, and you can accomplish so much more than you ever imagined." Monica smiled, feeling a newfound strength within her. She had started out as a humble maid, but every day she was getting closer to the person she was destined to become, someone who could not only survive in this world, but shine and make her mark in it. And for the first time, Monica knew that her future was no longer limited by her past. Every choice, every action, every word could lead her to an unexpected destiny, if she dared to keep moving forward. A few weeks after taking over the international project, Monica began to understand that Ethan's world wasn't just one of success and luxury, it was also riddled with invisible traps. Every decision could be scrutinized, every mistake exploited, and every success provoked jealousy and resentment. One morning, while preparing a strategic report for a Chinese partner, Monica received an anonymous message: "Be careful who you trust. Not everyone here wants you to succeed." Her heart sank. Was this a serious warning or simply an attempt to intimidate her? Later that day, a delicate situation arose during a meeting with a major investor. A partner, visibly irritated by her growing competence, tried to unsettle her by asking pointed questions and implying that she lacked experience. Monica felt the pressure mounting, but she remembered Ethan's words: "Your strength is your calm and your authenticity." With a deep breath, she responded calmly, stating the facts and demonstrating her mastery of the project. The murmurs in the room gradually died down. She had just turned an attack into a demonstration of competence. However, this professional victory came at a cost. Some colleagues began to view her as a rival. Meetings became more tense, conversations more subdued, and stares more suspicious. Monica realized that she not only had to excel at her job, but also learn to navigate the political intricacies of this world. Walking home that evening, she felt exhausted. Her thoughts wandered between work and her personal life, which she had neglected since entering this new world. She thought about her family, her old friends, and her life before, and a pang of nostalgia ran through her. But the biggest challenge came when she discovered, by chance, that some information about the project had been altered without her knowledge. Someone was trying to sabotage her work and implicate her in a failure. Monica felt a cold anger rise within her. She understood that to survive and thrive, she had to not only work hard, but also be strategic and cautious. The next day, she handled the situation intelligently. She documented every detail, confronted those responsible professionally, and managed to establish the truth without creating open conflict. Her handling of the crisis impressed Ethan, who privately congratulated her. "Monica, you've just taken a crucial step. You're not just good at your job, you're also good at protecting your position and your integrity." For Monica, this lesson was crucial. She understood that in this world of luxury and power, talent wasn't enough. You also needed courage, discernment, and strategy. And above all, you had to stay true to yourself, even when everything seemed to conspire against you. As she left the office that evening, Monica felt different. She had faced her first major crisis and emerged stronger. She knew more challenges lay ahead, but for the first time, she felt she was capable of overcoming them. Monica had now fully settled into her role. She was no longer the shy and hesitant newcomer. Her skills, her command of languages, and her ability to remain calm under pressure had earned her the respect of some colleagues, although jealousy persisted among others. One afternoon, while sorting through documents in Ethan's secure office, Monica noticed a folder that seemed to have been forgotten. Curious, she discreetly opened it. Inside, contracts, emails, and notes detailed obscure partnerships, some legal, others much less so. Familiar names, well known in the world of international business, appeared repeatedly, linked to secret transactions and questionable negotiation strategies. Monica felt her breath catch. She realized that Ethan's world was far more complex than she had imagined. It wasn't just a world of luxury and opportunity, it was also a web of secrets, influence, and carefully orchestrated manipulation. As she pondered how to handle this information, Ethan entered the office, his sharp gaze immediately landing on the file. "I see you found something interesting," he said calmly. Monica felt her heart beat faster, fearing a reprimand, but he smiled slightly. "What you see is confidential," he continued. "But I trust you, Monica. What you've discovered shows that you're willing to understand not only the visible aspects of our work, but also the invisible mechanisms that make it work." Monica felt a mixture of relief and pride. Ethan had just given her a rare confidence, but she also understood that with this knowledge came great responsibility. Every decision she made from now on would have to be carefully calculated, because one mistake could have irreversible consequences. Later that day, she was invited to a strategic meeting with several international partners. Monica immediately noticed the curious and appraising looks directed at her. But this time, she wasn't intimidated. She intervened confidently, translating and clarifying crucial points, while subtly revealing her intelligence and understanding of complex issues. At the end of the meeting, several partners came up to quietly congratulate her. "You're impressive," one of them murmured. "Few people here understand so much in such a short time." Monica felt a sense of quiet victory. Not only had she earned respect, but she was beginning to make a name for herself in this demanding world. She realized that her skills, perseverance, and ability to stay true to herself were her most powerful weapons. As she left the office that evening, Monica reflected on everything she'd accomplished since the day Ethan spotted her in the hotel hallway. Her life had changed dramatically in just a few weeks. But she knew that with every success came new challenges. And in this world, secrets were never trivial, they could be weapons or traps. For Monica, the lesson was clear: to survive and thrive, she had to remain vigilant, strategic, and always ready to seize opportunities at the exact moment. Her rise had just begun, and nothing could stop her if she continued to believe in herself. A few months into her new role, Monica realized that high society and the business world were far more dangerous than she had imagined. Her amassing successes attracted both admiration and resentment. And she would soon discover how fragile alliances could be. One morning, Ethan called her into his office with a serious expression. "Monica, there's a problem. One of our most influential partners is threatening to withdraw from a key project. And he's not compromising." Monica felt an immediate tension. This project represented millions of dollars and strategic partnerships that could determine the future of the company. "What do you want me to do?" she asked calmly. Ethan placed a file on the desk. "I want you to go meet them. You're the only one who can convince them to stay. Your way of speaking, your mastery of the language, and your authenticity are our greatest asset." Monica felt her adrenaline rising. She knew it would be risky. One mistake, and the project could collapse. But she agreed, determined to show what she was capable of. At the meeting, Monica was immediately met with hostility. The partners, experienced and influential businessmen, tried to unsettle her with difficult questions and innuendos. "How can a mere consultant understand the magnitude of this project?" one of them asked with a condescending smile. Monica took a deep breath and answered calmly, precisely, and confidently. She used her knowledge, her fluency in Chinese, and her understanding of strategic issues to demonstrate that their success depended on cooperation, not confrontation. Every sentence was calculated, every gesture thoughtful. At a critical moment, one of the partners tried to trap her with a question about a technical detail she hadn't anticipated. Monica coolly admitted her uncertainty but immediately proposed a practical solution, demonstrating her transparency and intelligence. The partners exchanged surprised glances. At the end of the meeting, they stood up and, against all odds, agreed to continue their commitment. Monica had succeeded. Not only had she saved the project, but she had also earned valuable respect in this cutthroat world. Back at Ethan's office, he congratulated her. "Monica, you've proven today that you're worthy of any responsibility. Few people could have handled this situation with such courage and finesse." Monica smiled, exhausted but proud. She understood that this success wasn't just professional, it was a test of loyalty, composure, and courage. She had faced the pressure, the criticism, and the manipulation, and she had emerged stronger for it. That day, Monica knew she was no longer just a rookie consultant. She had become a force in her own right in this world of luxury, influence, and secrets. And if she continued on this path, nothing and no one could stop her. Monica was beginning to feel comfortable in her role, convinced that she had found her place in Ethan's complex and ruthless world. But she would soon discover that success attracted envy as well as admiration. One morning, while reviewing strategic reports for a new project, she received an anonymous email. The message contained sensitive information she had never disclosed, accompanied by sarcastic comments implying that she had shared secrets with rivals. Monica felt a pang of worry. Who could have done this? She had always been cautious and discreet. She immediately understood that someone on the team was trying to discredit her and take advantage of her burgeoning reputation. Shortly after, during a meeting with Ethan, an influential associate alluded to a data leak. "Monica, some sensitive information has been leaked," he said with a cold smile, implying that she was responsible. The murmur in the room weighed heavily on his shoulders. Monica felt the pressure mounting, but she refused to panic. She remained calm and replied confidently, "I haven't shared any information beyond what was necessary for the project. If an error has occurred, I am willing to collaborate to identify the source and correct the situation." Ethan watched the scene in silence, his gaze attentive and analytical. After a moment, he spoke firmly, "Monica is right. We need to find the source of the problem, but it's clearly not her fault." Despite Ethan's intervention, Monica knew her reputation had been tarnished in the eyes of some colleagues. She decided to take action. Over the next few days, she painstakingly reviewed every file, every communication, and every exchange to identify the leaker. Her persistence and logic eventually paid off. A jealous employee had tried to frame her, but the evidence was irrefutable. Tactfully and professionally, Monica confronted the manager in front of Ethan and the team. The employee, taken aback, could not deny the truth. Ethan took immediate action to correct the situation and protect Monica. This moment was a crucial lesson for her. She understood that in this world, it was not enough to work hard and be competent, you also had to be vigilant, anticipate betrayals, and know how to defend yourself intelligently. As she left the office that evening, Monica felt empowered. She had faced her first major betrayal and emerged stronger, more confident, and more determined to succeed. She knew now that loyalty and prudence would be her most valuable allies in this cutthroat world. And despite the obstacles and intrigues, Monica felt one thing with certainty: she belonged to this universe now, and nothing and no one could prevent her from continuing her ascent. After months of hard work, challenges, and strategic maneuvering, Monica stood in Ethan's office, gazing at the panoramic view of the illuminated city. The international project she had led had been a resounding success, strengthening not only Ethan's partnerships but also her own reputation in this demanding world. That morning, Ethan walked into the office with a broad smile. "Monica," he said, "not only did you save the project, but you also proved to everyone here that your place isn't temporary. You've become a key part of our team." Monica felt a mixture of pride and emotion. She remembered the day he'd noticed her in the hotel hallway, answering a simple call in Chinese. She never would have imagined that this small gesture could transform her life in this way. But Monica's success wasn't just professional. Her courage, loyalty, and intelligence had changed the way others perceived her. The same colleagues who had viewed her with suspicion just a few months earlier now came to her for advice. She was no longer the odd one out, she had become a recognized and respected force. That day, Ethan entrusted her with a new, even more important responsibility: overseeing a set of strategic international projects and training the next generation of employees. "You have the talent, Monica," he said, "but more importantly, you have the ability to translate that talent into leadership." Monica felt her heart race. She realized her life had reached a new milestone. She was no longer just a consultant, she was now a leader, a woman capable of navigating a world of power, influence, and secrets, while remaining true to her values. As she left the office that evening, Monica looked out at the city lights and reflected on her journey. Every challenge, every betrayal, every moment of doubt had been a step toward this victory. She had started as an invisible maid and was now a respected and influential figure. For the first time, Monica felt a deep certainty: she could accomplish anything she desired. Her destiny was no longer defined by circumstances or others, but by herself, her determination, and her courage. And in this world of luxury, power, and secrets, Monica knew she had found her place, not by chance, but through merit, strength, and perseverance. A few months after Monica's consecration, her life had changed radically. She was no longer the discreet chambermaid no one noticed in the corridors of a luxury hotel. She had become a force to be reckoned with in the world of international business, respected for her intelligence, loyalty, and ability to navigate complex situations with finesse. Yet despite this meteoric rise, Monica hadn't let herself be carried away by pride. Every day, she remembered her beginnings, the long hours spent cleaning rooms, and that little call in Chinese that had changed her life. This humility allowed her to remain vigilant in the face of the challenges, intrigues, and rivalries ever present in Ethan's world. One evening, as she gazed at the city lights from the top of the skyscraper where Ethan's office was located, she reflected on everything she had accomplished. But a part of her knew this was only the beginning. New international projects were underway, even more ambitious partnerships were taking shape, and unexpected opportunities were already presenting themselves. Ethan joined her, an enigmatic smile on his face. "Monica, you're ready for something bigger." Monica turned to him, her eyes shining with determination. "I'm ready for anything," she replied, knowing that every challenge would be a chance to grow and prove her worth. At that moment, Monica understood that her life would never be the same. She had stepped out of the shadows into a world of power and influence, where every choice could change the course of her destiny. But she also knew that her strength lay not in money, luxury, or prestige, but in her ability to remain herself, true to her values and her courage. Ethan's world offered endless challenges, secrets, and opportunities. And Monica, who had started out as a humble maid, was now ready to conquer every stage, forge her own path, and transform her potential into extraordinary success. As night fell over the city, Monica felt a renewed energy coursing through her veins. She knew there were more surprises, more trials, and more victories ahead. But this time, she was ready to face it all. For Monica had discovered the essential truth: destiny is not imposed, it is chosen.